We scrolling through the headlines. Opinions clash, screens like what's the real truth? Silicon dreams, influences scheme. Culture picture fit trends, split the scene. Politics is madness, power games is stress. Privacy is gone, swipe right, but what's left? Devices in our palms, thoughts in the cloud. Traditions on the run, modern life loud. Hashtags moving fast, facts getting crushed. The world's in a spin, can't keep up with Russia.
Start recording in 3, 2, 1.
Logan, buddy, you might not believe this. Jay of Controversies of the Day with Logan and Jay, I am going to say something positive about Joe Biden. I mean, I even can't believe it. About the Biden and maybe the Biden administration and maybe even the DEA of all things. Can you believe it? I'm actually going to be a little bit positive here. It won't last long, I'm sure, but hey man, did you see this? They want to reclassify cannabis. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, okay, well that's kind of cool. I think, I don't know, I like your thoughts on it, but I don't think marijuana. For years, I've thought this. Marijuana is not on the level of some harder narcotics, but it's been classified with a lot of them for a long time. Obviously, some states have gone legal, and some states still have to. There's a big bill that many people thought was going to get through Congress a couple of years ago. It didn't when you had a Democrat president, and then you had a Democrat Congress, and it still didn't get through. And that, I think it's called the Safe Banking Act, and that would make a lot of regulations for people who want to invest in marijuana companies, and also it would help pave the way for more legalization across the board. So anyway, I personally, number one, we got fentanyl, folks. Okay, this is a big deal. This is a real big deal. I mean, to me, all the things that people are screaming and yelling about in this world, fentanyl. You'd agree on that one, right?
What am I agreeing with?
Fentanyl.
What about it?
I mean, this is an issue that this needs to be dealt with. Okay?
They don't care though.
Apparently, they don't. We've had over 100,000 Americans die,
And they don't care about weed. They don't care about cannabis. He's doing this for votes. If he truly didn't wanted to do anything for it, he decriminalized it completely.
There you go.
Legalize it so every state can do what they want with it, but instead he's just going to reclassify it. I think it's just done for votes. I don't think anything really is going to happen nationwide.
Between now and November, yeah. Okay.
No, well, regardless of that, again, that's all he's going to do. That's all he's going to do. They're not going to nationwide make it legal for every state to fucking buy it. They're not going to do that. They're going to wait, and the insiders already probably know this. But for Philip Johnson, Philip Morris, Johnson & Johnson, all these people who make cigarettes and whatnot, they're just building up a stock so they can have it to a point where it's like a liquor or a tobacco where you can just go into the gas station and buy it. I don't think it's ever going to be anything different until that happens. This is just, I don't know what you want to call it.
Well, I mean,
nonsense.
It might be a step. And the next step needs to be the Safe Banking Act. And we'll see what happens. I mean, all these Democrats say they're for it, and then a lot of Republicans are against it. So I don't know. This is one thing the Democrats could have actually done that I would have liked, would have been happy about, but they didn't get that done when they had Congress. We'll see what happens, and maybe some Republicans will turn a new leaf on that. I don't know. Oh, all pun intended. So anyway, I think, I don't know. Something was a little positive. Some cannabis-related stocks did pop a little bit, then they kind of dropped the next day, unfortunately. But so I'm not telling anybody to invest in any of that stuff. But something to think about, something to watch. I do think it should be a states' rights issue, though, overall, when they get to legalization, and it kind of has been so far. So.
No, it should be regardless. The federal government shouldn't have a lot of say in what states do. They're kind of just to protect us between each other and protect our borders, not to create this giant
bureaucracy that just
government
sucks our tax dollars and all this red tape and if it works so great, why don't we have utopia? That's what I say. Where's our utopia? 30 trillion in debt, and here we are. So anyway, I just throwing Uncle Joe a little bone there, and of course he had to be cynical. Yeah, like you said, he had to wait till an election year to start doing something. There's some people wonder if he's going to do a bunch of pardons also about like lower level.
Oh, they always do. They all do that.
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. So anyway, hey, I'll try to stay positive. Now your kids are young. Mine are college age, or older. So, I have to say, boy, I am glad, dude, that I don't have a kid in some overpriced school who's going to one of these institutions of higher learning and being interrupted for all these crazy protests. So, I guess there's some silver lining in it all. But what do you think of these kids, though, man? I know we talked about it already, but wow, I mean, they're still going. They're going crazy, and it's nutty as all heck.
They're dumb. They're just dumb.
Did you hear Scott Galloway talk about the professor I was telling you? He was recently on Bill Maher, and he's saying how he came up with this crazy theory, like these they're not having enough sex, so this is like their sex. Yeah, look this up, Scott Galloway, NYU professor. I've liked him before. I was telling you about him like last year, and then all of a sudden he starts saying stupid crap, like he was saying pro Chris Christie stuff and pro Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman stuff. Like, no, dude, whoa. I was just bragging to you about my friend. Like, no, now you're saying all these stupid crap. But this was kind of funny. I thought this was kind of funny. He said this is like their sex or something. Like they're getting all this sexual tension or something. So
that guy sounds like a jackass.
Really? You should look him up. Yeah, look him up. Anyway, he was recently on Bill Maher, and it was.
So you're not going to correlate that they're just shitty fucking colleges with these pro-liberal fucking asshole, professors they're crying and preaching about shit they don't really fucking know about.
Right.
It's funny that
live in their youth.
A bunch of women and a bunch of gays and transgenders want to sit here and fight for this cause. Do you know what mountain this is? Because if you were over there, you'd be dead. You'd be dying. Life wouldn't be. So I don't understand who you. What are you fighting for? Are you fighting for this Sharia law shit? Is that what you're fucking fighting for?
I know. Someone needs to really explain this to them too. Yeah,
no, that's the problem. They don't want to hear it either, because when people try to have an actual conversation, but you understand what you're fighting for, right? And they don't. I'd see that it'd be different if they were for the Palestinian people and the quote unquote genocide, or at least saving people, But you're not against Hamas in the same sentence. Like those are two different things. I can see that, but you guys can't see that. So when you have all these pro-Palestinian protests going on in America that are just ridden with Hamas-type propaganda of death to America, you guys are fucking assholes. Fuck you people.
Yeah, they want to bring down the American flag. They want to raise up the Palestinian flag, allegedly Palestinian.
There's a great clip of some stupid little snowflake who was part of this protest who got arrested, and now she can't graduate. Oh, so you were standing up to protest. You were standing up for a group of people, and you think that comes free? There's no cost to doing that? Show me an example where someone did something to stand up and protest to fight for a cause that didn't lose some. I mean, shit, Muhammad Ali, it seems you have Muhammad Ali. He couldn't wrestle for like 3 years in his prime. So he gave up something to believe in. You're not giving up shit for what you believe in, so I think you're full of shit. Like, again, why are you doing this? You don't even know. Are you doing it? Is this like a virtual signal? So you got to say you did this. You're a protester in college, all back up by you. I fought the system. And you didn't get to graduate. And you didn't believe in what you did, because if you believed in what you did and you couldn't graduate, you wouldn't be upset that you're not graduating. So again, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of brain dead, stupid kids that have no idea.
For the most part.
And if anything, the most angry people out of all this shit should be the parents.
Yeah.
To any of those students. Because look at what you wasted. Right. You wasted all that money.
Yeah.
For at least the parents.
Well, the silver lining is we don't have kids in college right
insane.
Now. So that's the good thing.
It's insane. And what's even more fucked up is that you've destroyed a whole generation, because the same kids that are graduating college now, 4 years ago, they were graduating high school during COVID.
I mean, COVID messed
and the same groups of fucks are doing the same shit with the whole Summer of Love, with the Floyd stuff. It's insane. I'd be super, super upset to be a parent right now with a child in college.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially if your kid can't graduate.
Yeah.
They've been canceling commencements.
That's what I'm saying.
Even for kids, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's horrible.
It's awful. So it's good that we don't got kids in college right now. It's a silver lining for us. But yeah, I mean, and I'm not against protests. I just want to be clear. But again, you got to do that off to the side. You can't be intimidating people, harassing people, and preventing people from going to their classes. Come on, you can't be doing that stuff. Saying from the river to the sea. What do you mean by that? Do you want them all dead? Do you want them all gone? What? You want everybody just get up and leave Israel? I don't know. Good luck with that. I'm just saying. And we've talked about Israel before. It's a complicated, controversial topic all in and of itself. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. And then the other part that gets me going is some of these kids they've arrested. They're not even students. They're like, well, who are these paid agitators? These from Antifa. George and Antifa. Yeah. George and Alex Soros funded people to go, be rabble rousers and provocateurs.
Come on now, it's the same. It's a repeat recipe of what happened 4 years ago.
Oh, exactly.
And again, coincidentally, in the same week 2 of the George Floyd. I think that's when around the same time. Or maybe it was the COVID in March, when the first. It's the same recipe. So, all right. I know we've covered this a little bit already, folks. So maybe we'll back off on this until the new development comes. As you say, this could be a summer of love coming up this summer, 2024. Going to be interesting. The Democrat convention going to be very interesting. Republican convention could be too. Well, I think that this whole college campus stuff. I think you're seeing a lot of pushback now, right? So I think that's not going to be I don't think that's going to be the big distraction. I think when summertime hits and the hot weather, we already had some pretty crazy weather with all these crazy storms around the world, let alone just what's happening in the Midwest here. But the immigration thing is still a big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's going to be a hot summer.
You called that, and I really hope
that's going to be the rule.
I hope you're going to be wrong. Unfortunately, you've already started to be right. There's already been some situations, and when they've had the National Guard come into New York City before, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. But yeah, we do got to worry about that. And the funny thing for me is watching the college campuses, and again, I'm not against protesting. Just don't step on someone else's rights. That's where I get mad.
Don't block students from going into the school and they paid for it. Like the hell?
Exactly. Yeah, they paid for this. You're there for a reason. But maybe there's things they really should be protesting. Let's just talk about that for 2 minutes or a second. I mean, again, fentanyl. You can't even buy a bag of weed. Back to the weed thing, and not know if it's got laced with something. Could be something as bad as fentanyl. And the national debt, over $30 trillion and growing every day, every second of every day, folks. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And then, hey, here's one we don't talk about enough. And you brought this to my attention: bioengineered food.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's so it starts from can I believe anything that's posted online, right? So you see all these TikToks, and for the most part, videos or shorts, whatever platform. I'll flip through and I'll see something kind of crazy and be like, whatever, and I'll move on. But I saw a couple with the bioengineer stuff, and I just happened to, see this video. I'm making something to eat for the kids. I'm making macaroni and cheese. And I look on the box, and sure as shit, it has this at the very bottom of the ingredient. It says contains bioengineered food ingredients.
Wow.
What the hell does that mean? Now, I know when the whole GMO thing years back with Monsanto, and when they were the big name getting thrown around, that there was supposed to be a law or some kind of legislation that would mark. You'd have to, if you used any kind of GMO, which I'm assuming that's the same language of what bioengineered food ingredient is. They're just trying to not call it GMO because it has such a bad stigma built up.
And what does that stand for? Genetic modified organism?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if now this is now we're just seeing someone's brought it to an attention. Now everyone just sees it. Maybe it's been there for years. I don't know. But it is crazy to think that it's in everything. Like everything I buy, it's in this shit. So going down that rabbit hole, I'm curious, well, how many companies actually control all this food? Because it all seems to have the same stuff. So I found an infographic that has 12 the 12 biggest companies that own 550 plus consumer brands, and it's kind of crazy what all these guys own. You got Mars, Coca-Cola, you got PepsiCo, Procter and Gamble, Unilever, Nestle. I mean, they own everything. Like
Mondelez,
yeah. I mean, they own, and this just the photos that are the logos that are in the photo. I'm sure aren't even all of what these companies might own. I mean, there's like, I'm curious to know, like Walmart's brand, they got that great value, or like the store down the street from us has their generic brand is called Best Choice. They don't have the same types of warnings about the bioengineered food. So is that is something to do with labeling? You know, are they owned by a different company? Are they owned by these companies? Is it a rebranding? You know, they just repackage, rebrand. So I'm curious to know about things like that. But the rabbit hole kind of freaked me out because, you know, I see all this. Okay, I guess I'm not surprised. You know, I know Coke owns a bunch of different Coke products. And when you go to like McDonald's, it's all Coke products. So you know those are Coke products.
Yeah, and Pepsi has a similar.
Yeah, so, you know, it's just crazy though that I didn't know all these brands, you know, had such a giant umbrella. But then it comes down to who owns all these brands. And what scares me is that, you know, we've heard all kinds of craziness about BlackRock, Vanguard, what's the other one? State Street. And that was just, we've talked about before, and that's usually just in like the crypto market or banking, financial institutions, shit like that. But food, boy, these guys own everything. So they both between BlackRock and Vanguard, just because those are the two of the bigger ones, I suppose. Procter and Gamble, they're both major shareholders of that company. PepsiCo and Coca-Cola, the same thing. Johnson & Johnson, they own significant stuff. Like almost both own about 10% of each. Of Nestle, Unilever. I mean, they all, General Mills, Kraft, all these giant companies that hold all this food making, all this, all these consumer goods, they just own. And what scares me the most was that, you know, Vanguard's a private company and they invest into BlackRock. So it's like, who owns, you know, who's really behind Vanguard? I mean, these guys own everything. And this is just consumer goods. And, you know, we talked about the financial institution type stuff. So what gets into like, you know, the auto industry or any other industries that we haven't talked about, I'm sure these guys got like giant or, you know, big percentages of holdings in all these companies. And in some of these cases, they are, even with like 9%, they are a majority shareholder. So, you know, they get the push, the push policies and make decisions for Nestle, who makes decisions for, you know, 100 different other companies. It's just weird that they're all controlled by one. So I guess it doesn't shock me that one company has the same stuff, you know, the same bioengineered stuff. But that, you know, I guess those are two different subjects. You know, one's more of who owns all the crap, it's a scary thought, but then the whole bioengineered stuff. Yeah. Because now you get talking about the meat. Now they're really pushing this 3D printed fake meat stuff. Wow. That once you cook it, you can't tell, taste, smell. It's made from they use some kind of enzyme or something to culture the goo that they print out. You know, Bill Gates is a big pusher. You know, your favorite guy. He's buying up. He's like one of the biggest farmland owners in America. Wow. Which kind of funny too. If you talk, they had some picture about the floods and stuff. If like a flood or rising seawaters ever happened in America, they have a map drawn out. It's kind of odd that Bill Gates owns, like, there's not one piece of land that he owns that's in the water areas. It all happens to be in dry land based off this map. Conspiracy side, maybe not. In any case, he does own the largest, like, he has the most acreage of farmland in this country. Wow. Someone who's pushing very hard about not eating meat, and then he's coming out with fake meat. You know, he's a big pusher of this whole fake meat thing. So, I don't know, it's things to consider of what's more important. You know, do we want to keep on continuing subsidizing a proxy war, or should we worry about what we're doing to our own people in this country? Yeah, I mean, again, this is something, you know, and I think we're going to go down this umbrella. If you know, I think in future shows, there's so many issues, ladies and gentlemen, where there's a right and a left, and you think it's this side and that side. There's a lot of issues like this. I think almost everybody needs to think about this and maybe care about this, and maybe everybody could, after a while, will see that more of us, the people, okay, whatever you call yourself politically or you know, philosophically,
we're really on one side, and then it's them, the powers that be, more or less on the other side. So I think we're gonna definitely have more topics
like
that.
An anti-compete or antitrust type thing?
That's I was thinking that too.
Why wouldn't we attack Facebook or whatever other company that does this stuff? But
yeah,
come on, I mean. And it's what's even nuts is that this is conspiratorial shit. I mean, a lot of this stuff has showed up on like major like Yahoo News Finance. And I got sources for a bunch of this.
Sure, anybody can find this.
They own. I mean, that's publicly known that they own large majorities of all this stuff. So why aren't we going after these same groups of people? It's either, it's power. I mean, these guys, they have so much control over everything. Larry Fink. I mean, I don't think he's the top head of this,
No, I mean, Warren Buffett is, he's been like a big, so his big thing is called Berkshire Hathaway, and they've always been really big Coca-Cola people for a very, very long time. I don't know what stake he has in Coca-Cola, but it could be a significant one as well. Yeah, I mean, folks, there's a lot to think about here, especially with one of the things that makes me so upset, and that's high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, I think that this isn't a conspiracy. This isn't a mystery. As we've used more and more of that, and more products, unfortunately, people have had a lot of health issues. And this is the kind of thing that people should be outraged about.
Half of America is diabetic in some fashion. Type 1, type 2, half of America.
Half America's overweight. Or more, you know. So yeah, I mean, these are things that we all got to consider, all got to think about.
You remember the movie WALL-E?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our future. That's what we're turning into.
I don't know. They say, folks. They say. So this isn't me, but I'm just paraphrasing, quoting things, not going to try to be a plagiarist like, unfortunately, our president Joe Biden, big time plagiarist. But they say when you go into a grocery store, you really should stay out of the middle aisles as much as possible and try to shop all along the outer aisle. That's what you should do. There you got your meats, you got your fruits and vegetables, your fresh stuff. So, anyway, but yeah, no. And some of these companies are still even on the outside aisles too. So, yeah, it's a hard thing to do. But we're going into summer. Support your local farmers market, everybody out there, and also, and we're going to come back to this in other shows if you don't mind. I believe in free market capitalism, okay? But when you start to see this stuff, folks, and you really like you have, and we're going to talk more about it in other shows, where you find out that this investment group owns all these companies, they own a huge stake in it, and then you worry about the quality of the food, the lack of nutritional value, then what's genetically modified in these products. You look at all this, you're just starting to see that, that pyramid, this apex up here at the top, small amount of control over a large amount of people, a large amount of, decisions people make. And it's something to think about, folks. And we're definitely going to explore this issue. I don't know that this always has to be such a right and left thing. I think it's more of us, the people, are going to be about them. Then maybe they're kind of against us, or at least trying to enslave us, with all their MSG and the high fructose corn syrup and everything else. They want to make their products more addictive. And so, this isn't going to go away, obviously. So
there was a, I don't know how true it was, but there was something about Chick-fil-A that someone wanted to know why it was so good and why so many people liked it. And he did some kind of chemical study, whatever you want to call it, what he did, scientific shit. And there was like 50 drugs and 40 of them were like man-made drugs in this thing or something like that. Again, I don't know how true it was, but
allegedly.
Wouldn't shock, allegedly. It wouldn't shock me. Not one bit wouldn't shock me.
All right. Well, let's hope you don't have any worms eating your brains. That brings us to a guy named RFK Jr. Now, I've been fairly positive about a nephew of one of our former presidents and RFK Jr. I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of controversial stuff in his life. Some of his marriages, he's some heavy drug use when he was younger. But I do think he's a smart guy, and I do think he's someone who'd be listened to on certain topics anyway. Man, some interesting, wacky stuff about him recently. Did you see this stuff?
Yeah, it's not good. He's going down the path, just not as extreme as that wonderful governor who's shooting dogs and stuff.
Oh, Christie, no?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's him or, again, if this is some weird, what do you call it, controlled opposition type thing. Like, he sounds so good, and then this comes out. Okay, this kind of bothers me. Like, are you actually competent to be president then? I mean,
Yeah, he's vocally challenged. He claims that. I think he claims that to be the effect on him from some vaccines. I think that's part of his reason he's against vaccines. But yeah, he claims or the story is, I guess, that he thought he contacted some kind of parasitic worm, and he actually was eating part of his brain at some point, and then the worm died. And I'm just reading the story here, folks. This sounds, I'm not a neurologist or brain surgeon or anything.
No, just like, so I've only seen this only come from notthebee.com is the only thing I've seen it, but I don't know if he said it on a video. He had like some kind of weird video interview about people like he was in either case. I've only found one source that this was talked about, so I don't know how valid it is. You said you heard or saw something different.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's out there in mainstream media anyway, and I don't think he denied it or anything like that. So anyway, it's interesting, and it's not the kind of thing you hear every day. I would have thought there'd been some worms in Joe Biden's brain. Maybe that would explain some of his cognitive difficulties. And now RFK, he's challenged Trump to some debate, and I guess Trump turned him down. Was that right?
Yeah, it sounds like he said he was a non-candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind if all three of them debated. I think that would be a good thing for our country. I really do. I really liked. I know you were just a young lad, but I liked when Ross Perot was on the debate stage with Bill Clinton and George Herbert Walker Bush back in 1992. I think it was a good thing, and I was very disappointed in 2000 when they wouldn't let Pat Buchanan, who is sort of the right outsider independent candidate, and Ralph Nader, who I think was the Green Party candidate, more of a lefty, they didn't let those guys on stage with Gore and Bush. This is younger Bush, George W. Bush, in 2000. I thought that was so cowardly. I think a third party person of some stature, not just a loony, but and I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is definitely, I know some people think he's a loony. I don't think he is. He would be good, I think, if it was a 3 or 4 way debate. But
I get what you're saying. I understand where Trump's coming from. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Right. At this point, there's no reason for Trump to do that. I get that. Now, speaking of somebody else, and we'll tie a little bit of this into both Trump and RFK, Tulsi Gabbard. I can't stop talking about her. I dig her. I don't agree with her on everything either. I just think her character is she's one of the few people in politics that I can respect and think, yeah, I could maybe trust you. You might be someone who would have the best interests of the country and people in mind. Or at least she's got me fooled so far, folks. I don't know. She's very, very easy on the eye.
Did you see her on The View?
Yes.
Oh boy, she really went after with Joy pretty hard.
They are. Oh, they've gotten so loony. I used to think Joy was kind of cute years ago. I know. Look, we all got our fetishes. Speaking of fetishes, I offer to rub his feet sometimes. He doesn't. He won't let me. That's okay. So did you see some like 6 months ago? Matthew McConaughey was on there. He rubbed her feet. Yeah. So that really happened. He rubbed Joy Behar's feet. So I thought, wow, man, that's really cool. But anyway,
you know what's weird? They have that what is it? I think a commercial on TV all the time for like Jesus, right? And one of them is they show.
Yeah, well, that's in the Bible.
Yeah, and they show pictures of that. It's just funny that you bring that up and
they took the special oils and they rubbed people's feet back in the day. It's in the New Testament. Okay, we'll talk about that some other time. But anyway, Tulsi, I dig her. I saw her on PBD recently. She's been on there several times, but it was a neat, like a live show, a live audience there. And boy, she's out there and she's all over the place pushing her book For Love of Country, which I definitely got to check that out. And a lot of people do that when they run for office. But she's not officially running yet, which is so interesting. She's run before, and she has been a congresswoman from Hawaii before. So here, what was revealed, I thought was so interesting, was she said she met with RFK Jr. They did meet, and basically that she says she was offered his VP spot, and she turned it down. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I thought that was fascinating. You know, like makes you go, does she know something? You know, does she know that maybe she's got a real shot to be Donald Trump's VP? That's where I'm kind of, you know, just kind of.
Well, in my view of that whole podcast, it seemed like both Pat's crew and Tulsi, they made it seem like it was, if I would have turned on that show, watched it without knowing anything about Tulsi, you know, as far as where her position was about being a VP, or that she was even in the consideration. I just turned on that show and this guy's interviewing this woman. I would have thought she was the VP pick. It's just, that's the way it was conveyed to me. I mean, Pat's definitely a huge supporter, and he's pushing it behind. He was asking questions as if she was already the VP nominee, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
And the same with her, and it's not even like, she might not have said it like that, but she definitely didn't correct any of it, or like even kind of, you know, laugh or tongue-in-cheek it. It was just like, like it was known, like you said, like it was, like she knew, she knows, he knows, you know, that she's basically the top pick, and we're just waiting for the official announcement here in another month or so.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, this is something I really care about. You know, a lot of people are like, who's going to be in the sports team? Who's going to start with this? I could care less. You know, sports are fun, but, you know, some men are just very invested in that, because this is what I'm invested in, because I think it's really important. You know what I mean? Because if Trump were to win, he can only serve one term, right? So this is very, very important for the future of our country and the direction that our country goes in. And to me, it's going to tell a lot about Donald Trump, who he picks. You know, so I'm so fascinated with it.
Hopefully it's more of a predecessor, you know, someone who's going to carry the torch along. So hopefully she would be, you know, the next one in line to take that.
And again, you know, a lot of issues really haven't been talked about. I mean, she was a Democrat congresswoman from Hawaii. Hawaii's a very liberal state. She was a big backer of Bernie Sanders in 2016. So, and all I've heard is that she's changed her views on gun control. That's all I've heard. So she still may be, you know, more or less of a left-leaning person, which, of all things, maybe it could bring our country together more right now. We're so divided.
Even so, I mean, it could be something like she's just been since COVID. I mean, really, there's been a lot of eye-opening moments since COVID, right? We've seen a lot of crazy government intervention or overreach or whatever you want to call it.
Overreach, big time.
So maybe her having common sense, regardless of which way she leaned. Obviously, she wasn't like extreme on either side, but so now she's on this left. You know, she was on the left, and she sees all this crazy shit that was happening, and she doesn't agree with it. Maybe it was just enough to persuade her. And as things are kind of rolling along, she's just kind of slowly getting pushed to that center. Yeah, she's gonna cross that line eventually and slowly get pushed onto that right side. Just because I'm not saying the right's right or the left is wrong. You know, it definitely is that common sense middle is what we're looking for here. And I think anyone who wants to call themselves left and be, you're pretty much center. I think common sense is center, and I think majority of us are pretty damn center. We just let all this political double talk, double speak kind of divide us,
divide us and pull us in different.
Easily push us, because you'll see, like Bill Maher, you know, he's left, and all of a sudden he's starting to change kind of some of his views, and you're like, okay, he's drinking some of the juice, right?
Yeah,
some of the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he's having a little. His common sense is having a little issues with some of what's been going on. So yeah, that's why he's been more fun to watch for me, like in the last year, just to see where people start to go. Wait, no, what?
He just did one with Dana White. I'd really like to see, because Dana's pretty strong-spoken about what he believes in his views, so I'd be curious to see what kind of pushback he gave Maher off of some hippie shit, you know.
Yeah, or the other guy. Who's the other guy we like? Dan Pena.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, him and anybody.
Yeah. I just recently saw that climate change one again the other day, and it just makes me laugh when he freaks out.
So if you didn't hear me, Dan Pena, Dan, and then Pena, okay. I'm not in all the swearing. I try not to swear too much. I do.
He's entertaining.
He's very entertaining. He's very vulgar.
But he gets to the point real quick.
Yeah. He's a very interesting American, and he would be interesting to see if he ever was going to run for office. But I don't think he will. But he would be great to definitely see him at a political convention. They'd have to beep out every other word, though.
He's like me.
No, a little bit, yeah. So Tulsi, we'll see what happens. You know, speaking of the Veep stakes, And again, I'm so intrigued what's going to happen here. Marco Rubio's name keeps coming up. What? I'm not making this up. I saw something on Yahoo like a month ago, and I thought, oh, somebody's just and then also I'm watching Fox. I'm on my little vacation, right? I got the cable TV going, and Jesse Waters, and he throws Rubio's name in there, and I'm like, what? And then Jesse Waters himself goes, yeah, where's Tulsi and where's Vivek? Because he mentioned I think Doug Burnham and Kristi Noem, and he mentioned few people, and then he catches himself, he laughs, and he thinks, watch, Trump's going to take DeSantis, and he laughs more about it. So I don't know what Jesse Waters' point is, but it was just last week on Fox.
I think it's clicks. They just want clicks.
Yeah.
I really think they're just throwing names out there. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason.
Okay.
I think they're just... Because Fox ain't no friend of Trump. Right?
Yeah, I know. They like to kind of play both sides of him, don't they?
They can shove it.
Yeah.
So anything that comes from them, especially with these speculatory, they're just clicks. They're just throwing names out there that people are like, what, huh? That knee-jerk reaction. People are going to click on it and read it, and there's no credence to any of it. It's like, oh, well, someone from their team, no source actually given out to say, yeah, this is on the short list, or this guy's actually been talked about, because that ain't happening. There is no short list to the public. It's all people from within their camp knows what's going on, and it's somebody told us. No, I don't think anyone tells anybody something. I think Trump's keeping that one pretty close to the chest. I think he learned the first time how bad he got done, because he's got to hire 4,000 people in his administration. I don't think he's just going to let people do that for him. I think he's going to have a tighter rope around that. Yeah. So I don't think until the convention comes, when he's actually the nominee, he's on stage, and like a boss, he's going to come out and make these Republicans bow down to him that don't want him to be a part of that party ticket. That's when he's going to release it then. So
now, about Marco Rubio, I don't hate the guy or anything. I think he's a little more of a neocon, and that's not my...
He's a weasel.
That's not my view. I will say something nice about Senator Rubio. That maybe is who idiot Willard Mitt Romney should have taken in 2012 instead of taking that twerp Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan did not give him the state of Wisconsin. Okay, no Republican had won Wisconsin since 1984 until Trump did it in 2016. So that was so goofy. And Ryan was from the House. You take someone usually who's won. Now this would be a little different because I do like Tulsi, but she never she wasn't a senator from Hawaii. So that is true. But usually you don't take someone from the House. And anyway, so I was surprised. Rubio or even another guy were like John Kasich from Ohio. I was surprised those guys weren't taken by Romney back in 2012. I know it's all water under the bridge. Who cares, right? But so we'll see. We'll see. But hold on. You talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say him with Florida, because both Trump and Rubio are both residents of Florida, and constitutionally they can't do that. 12th Amendment somewhere in there. You can't.
Okay.
You can't vote. You can't vote on the
electors.
The electors because both people are from the same state. So why, again, Jesse Waters, if you're the intelligent person you claim to be, that should be, that was
your
a simple
producer
Google,
should be doing that,
That was
right?
a simple Google search that I was able to find out. So
there you go. Yeah, here he is with his well-coiffed hair.
Right.
He's so beautiful, Jesse Waters, and on Fox TV.
They're just pushing this out for clicks. They're throwing names out there that are going to get some kind of knee-jerk reaction if people click on their shit.
Okay.
So shame on you. You guys suck.
That's the other reason we do this, because we're so mad at the media. Sometimes I go back and forth. Who am I more mad at, the media or the politicians? It just goes back and forth for me, back and forth.
Or they're one and the same at this point, right?
Yeah, there you go.
It's just the lobbying group. Media is just the lobbying group for the
with a camera. Yeah, exactly. They really are. They really have. Sadly, that's really what they've become. A lot of couple different Trump trials, of course, going on. There's always one going on somewhere. Any thoughts or comments about the? You said he's doing good, maybe in the classified documents one.
Well, it seems like there might be. Well, obviously you're not going to find this on the mainstream, but it seems like there might be some tampering, some big time tampering. I want to say the allegation is. Conspiracy side of it, the allegation is that when the FBI came to recover these documents that she shouldn't have had, these confidential documents, is that something with the pictures that doesn't line up, or like there's more boxes or less boxes, or evidence in general. Just it's something's weird going on there. So the judge has put it on an indefinite hold until I think sometime in July, and they're going to revisit it and see if, I guess, Jack Smith's got his shit together and whatever the problem actually is. It don't seem good to me. It seems like tampering is what's going to come out from it. I think I'm getting the other one.
Yeah, the other one
is another circus, like
New York.
We're gonna have the judge. So I want order and respect and dignity. Call in the stripper. You know what the fuck?
Oh man,
it's a side show.
I was seeing something about idiot Rachel Maddow on MSDNC, and she's like, "We'll never be able to get the taste out of our mouth of this whole situation." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, lady, let it be. There you go. That you'll never get that taste out of your mouth. There you go, Rachel Maddow, because you and your ilk had to run Hillary in 2016. That's part of the reason you got Trump to begin with, people. I hope you Democrats get that. I don't think you do. I still don't think you do. I think they stole that. The superdelegates stole that from Bernie. Okay, I'm holding to it. And I think that's part of the reason also Tulsi Gabbard's departure from the Democrat Party ultimately. I mean, she ran in 2020 herself. But anyway.
I don't understand why they brought Stormy back out. You guys had a case. This is supposed to be an accounting error. So how are we? Why is the whore back out on stage? It's an accounting error problem. And I thought they showed that the check that was given to pay this off wasn't even signed by Trump. It comes from his account, signed by either Cohn or his son, one of his fucking kids. Doesn't even have Trump's signature on it. So right there and then you can't even prove that he knew what the fuck was going on. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
That there's the continuity of what they're trying to explain doesn't make sense. I think they're throwing everything out there just to slow them down.
To slow them down, drain them, right? Stress them out, and drain them financially. Yeah.
I wish people would see it faster. Why aren't other higher judges or politicians that can do anything attacking this judge? I mean, he's donated to the Biden administration.
Right.
Like, recruit yourself.
I think one of his kids exactly have been involved with the Democrat policies and different Democrats. And there's ties from there to Adam Schiff, and he's, of course, who led the
And then all these prosecutors going after him are all corrupt in some fashion, making these big mistakes, more or less. And come on, this is a sideshow. This is like the UN council crap we tried to do in high school. We were learning about that. A bunch of people who don't know what the hell is going on, but they all think they have some kind of authority. It makes no sense. It blows my mind. That I'm more upset. Again, like I said, the courts and people of power aren't coming in to stop this. That they're more worried about their own political future. That it has nothing to. I mean. The New York mayor, Adams, whatever the hell his name is, about some law about letting women be able to come back from so long in the past and accuse you of doing something. It kind of opens some. Now he's being accused of messing with women or some stuff. I think it's him. It might be another representative or some other. Okay. But he pushed for it. Now he's getting pushed back from it.
I'll check that out. We'll get into that.
It's like all kinds of this weird stuff is just happening, and no one's stepping in to say, "Hey, you guys are wrong. You shouldn't be doing this." This is a political witch hunt.
Right.
And regardless, more and more people are seeing it. That's why his numbers are going up. Every time you hear a bad headline, his numbers go up.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's back to The View. She's going crazy. Oh, put him behind bars. Put him in the clink. And I'm thinking, man, if you do that, you'll probably for sure is going to win. Oh my God.
Then
where would the Secret Service be? And they're going to have to be in the cell with him? I mean, the whole thing is
it doesn't make sense.
All right, well, let's end on a high note. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not for Tom. So you sent me some clips the other day. I guess they did a roast. We don't usually talk a lot of sports here, but hey, man, this was fun. This was crazy. Have you seen it? Tom Brady's roast recently just happened. Oh my God! Oh, wowie wow! I mean, Kevin Hart was there. Rob Gronkowski that was there. Brady's former teammate. And a bunch of comedians, I don't know, I don't even know who they all were.
Yeah.
And a bunch of it, it made me cringe. And I'm like, oh, wow, did he really say that? Oh, my God. But I don't want anybody to be canceled. I don't want anybody should be fired or lose their contracts that they have at different places. Okay, this is called free speech. Yay to free speech. And if you're watching it and it makes you mad, turn it off. Just turn it off. Go watch something else. A lot of people, though, I think this is very funny. You kind of wonder what was going through Tom Brady's mind because they ripped him. Oh my God, they ripped his ex-wife.
That's the whole point of the roast.
I mean, it is, but they took it to levels that I didn't think.
Did you see the Bieber one? They made jokes about his mom aborting him with a coat hanger, and that's why he was so good with his dance moves. So Tom Brady got off pretty damn good. If the only worst thing they're going to talk about is his wife cheating on him with his jiu-jitsu instructor or some nonsense. The guy's a millionaire. He's sitting on that throne just like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go home with my nice shit.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I mean, there was a time, I have to say, Tom... I'm not a communist. No, really, I am not a communist. He brought out my inner commie. I have to say it. In the past. I mean, you just look at him like you're too damn good. You're too good looking. Your wife's too good looking. They had like a mansion in Beverly Hills. There was like a castle with an actual moat around it. I assume that got divided or sold out because of the divorce, but. Anyway, he's incredible. He is like the greatest of all time in football. I like other quarterbacks more, but anyway, I'm more of a Peyton Manning, Brett Favre kind of guy. But
I hate the Patriots.
Me too. So you know what I'm talking about.
And I hated it because after 9/11, they seemed to be just winning all the time. Like I really felt that was some weird American push. Like they're just winning way too much. I didn't like it.
Well, there's a lot of things about Bill Belichick, the coach, and Robert Kraft, the owner. There's a lot of stuff there. And, of course, I have this inner hatred or deep loathing for a guy named Matt Damon. Sorry, folks, I just do. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, big fans of Tom Brady. They even made some commercials backing him up and, trying to be smart asses. And when there was some controversy with the inflating or deflating of the football, I don't know. It was some years back. But, I was the same boat. I think a lot of people were looking at the Patriots in the same kind of way. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just shocked they had that on Netflix, and I'm shocked they had Tony hosting it.
Yeah. Now, here's the guy. So I'm not real familiar with him. What is his name?
I don't know his last name.
He's got a podcast called Kill Tony?
Yeah, it's more of a comedy improv type thing, but they just destroy people. They'll bring like comics on, like maybe new people, like kind of like a open mic night type deal. And they'll have a panel like Joe Rogan does a lot of it, or that, the people part of like Joe's kind of crew, In any case, they come on, the guy will do their couple minutes of set, and the panel will just roast the shit out of them. And it's funny. Like someone's pretty bad. And if you can take it and dish it back, they seem to let you come back more often.
I'll check it out.
15 minutes or something.
Cool.
But it's funny stuff again, and it's just as raunchy as I'm shocked they had that type of stuff on Netflix because they're sitting there talking about slavery with Kevin Hart. They go and all the way to
Kevin Hart was there too, folks, and he got ripped pretty good too.
I don't know if he used the hard R retard or what it was, but like you say, he just went from line to line, just attacking them, and it was all funny. A lot of.
Yeah, so this one comedian, Logan, said he came out as part of this roast for Brady, and he didn't just stay on Brady. He went through the whole stage, everybody, and it's like rapid fire. It was like almost like machine gun insults.
And then the Kim Kardashian ones.
The Kim Kardashian. What are you?
And she was there.
Why is she there?
Though to give her credit, she had a chance to go up and talk, and she had I can't recall the joke outright, but she had a decent joke. She got about halfway through, and everyone just started booing her.
Yeah, I saw that.
She finally finished it, but it was a decent joke, So, outside of that, I don't understand why she was there. It's just a celebrity type thing. Why weren't you at like the Met Gala crap that just happened?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the Met Gala. Oh yeah, I hope you people raise some money for her, the poor people. Hope you help some nice people out.
Which when all the protesters start showing up there, they immediately disperse that nonsense. Isn't that funny? Again, with the whole left-leaning stuff, just like with immigration. Once they got up to the Hamptons or wherever they got shipped off to, we don't want this crap.
Right.
It's insane.
Oh boy,
the world's fuck, John.
I think that's gotta be our shirt. Yeah, the world's effed. Yeah, there we go.
Pretty much.
We gotta get a little coffee mug with that on there. All right, buddy. You got anything else on your mind? We've tried to solve some of the problems of the world today. Darn it all, I don't know. We're getting there. We'll just have to smoke a doob later and I don't know.
Sort this shit out.
Sort this shit out. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Body slam that like button. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody out there for watching. Do appreciate that. And if Helen Dorothy's watching, the greatest grandma in the world, 100 years old, mwah, I love you, Grandma. Take care. All right. I like that rant today, Logan. I like that. Like telling the adrenaline was kicking in.
Chris, maybe you noticed.